Hit that like button, share this content, let that friend, that neighbor know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. Happy April the 1st. It's the first of the month. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Yeah. Mama said that there'll be days literally just like this. This episode is powered by Frenkel and Frenkel Personal Injury Lawyers, and as well as from your studios or my studios, Law Nation Sports. Come on, baby. As they say, ain't no party like a cowboy party. But what about a Jerry Jones way of partying? Come on, 5, 4.
Ready? Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same.
And now. Or should
I say?
I am. The longest intro in the land. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight. 2 and 1. HBU me, man. Help a brother out, baby. Help a brother out. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Yeah. How y'all feeling today? How y'all feeling now? I don't do a lot of April's Fool's Day. Shout out to all of the fools that's out here. I get it, you know. But shout out to April Fool's Day. Today is April Fool's Day. And not to get it confused with anything, everything and anything that I say is always satire to a degree, basically, because that's how you can save yourself over here. Satire, you know. So parody, you know, this is a parody account. Nothing is true. Everything is allegedly, right? And Jerry and them, shout out to him. He's at the owners' meeting. He was at the owners' meeting. Got a chance to talk about a few things. We're going to highlight that. Shout out to my guy, D'Angelo Pons. He was able to run a 4.28, 4.25 something. I think the official time is a 4.31. But it's just like anything. In the words of Mike McCarthy, just like anything. Give me that low number, right? Shoot. Anytime you see that clock and it says a 4.2 something, give me that number, right? That's what I would do, right? So Law Nation ran a 4.440. Now, on the second attempt, who knows? But I'm going to go to the grave saying, hey, man, I'm a 4.440 guy, right? 4.4s, I'm tipping, you know. So I'm just saying. But you guys know how that goes. Do me a huge favor, by the way. Hit that like button, share this content. Let people know where to go when it's time to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and beyond. And that's including the ice wall, baby. As I spill my coffee everywhere. I don't know why I'm spilling coffee. And there's no April Fool there. Got doggone spill coffee everywhere. Let's get right to it. Let me see if I can pull this up. But before we go into those details, I think we still got $14. Put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear this audio.
Do you anticipate going into the draft with the current linebacker room you have?
No, we're looking to improve there personnel-wise and are continuing to do so right now before the draft as well as the potential in the draft. So we want to get better there with personnel. We've been trying very much to make some trades. They haven't worked out for us there, but that won't deter us from getting better there.
Why do you anticipate the trade market being the most likely?
Can y'all hear that from Grandpa Jerry?
Do that again.
Do you anticipate the trade market being the most likely scenario to address linebacker?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to anticipate here.
That's a good answer by Jerry Jones. We all know. I mean, the biggest hole on this team is linebacker now, right? Edge rusher, you can say it's a slight hole right there. Veteran cornerback, You can say, hey, we don't have that outside of Deron Bland. When you have bad feet, you always have reservations with cornerbacks. You do have a veteran presence as it relates to safety, but that's 1 year deal situation with Malik Hooker. It's not guaranteed that he will be here for the foreseeable future, like 3 to 4 years from now. So when you look into this draft, you're saying, okay, how can I replace what I already have by replenishing it in this draft and supplementing the things that we can? And if you can look at what the Cowboys did as far as quantity versus quality, they went and got a lot of quantity guys. Kobe Durant, DeAndre Kendricks, P.J. Locke, Jalen Thompson. All of those boys are I'm not going to disrespect them and say that they are ancillary pieces, but these are bridge guys, right? There's nobody banging their chest and running around and taking the shirt off saying, yeah, look who we got, baby. We go to the moon. We ain't doing that, right? But not to dismiss this, at least the Cowboys do have a plan and a formality and things in line for all of that. And by the way, Jerry Jones did say, hey, we're still looking for linebackers. Are they telegraphing their moves? Maybe. But the way you can hear this is saying, all right, cool. They looking for linebackers. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it.
Would you be comfortable with a rookie at your green dot middle linebacker if you didn't get it in the trade market?
Yes. Yes. A big yes.
What makes you feel optimistic about what you guys have done?
Can y'all hear audio?
You guys will be a better team than you were last year.
We've addressed our defense significantly. Going in, I thought that if we can pick that up, sustain the level that we played at on offense last year, always looking to improve specifically with the depth of our roster, special teams, the fact that we have no reason to think we can't be as good as we were last year on special teams.
Would you be comfortable with a rookie?
Now, he said he would be comfortable, but we all know we still have reservations. I mean, okay, Quentin Williams, Kenny Clark, okay, Rashawn Gary. Yes, we have reservations. We still got them the solid pieces, right? Them the solid pieces, right? Everybody else like, hey, can Bland stay healthy? Somebody said you can't rely on that, right? Can we see something different from Siobhan Revel, right? I heard Lil Wayne told me that Siobhan Revel is going to be up to par. He's going to look different going into 2026, right? That would have Lil Wayne that told me. It blew in my ear and said, Siobhan Revel's going to be different. So I would say, okay, all right, cool. But you can't build your fortress around that, right? So the Cowboys better, B-E-T-T-E-R, get things going. Let me know if I spelled that correctly, right? But they better get things going. And that's just for what it is. The Cowboys got the highest trade capital. This is Jerry and them talking about that.
There have been talks about packaging those picks and moving them around to maybe acquire more capital or get a better player higher.
I've looked at that mirror a lot about how to go up and down and trade and do those kinds of things, and absolutely will entertain improving or an in-draft read on what gives us a better chance to get another player and still have our pick in the red meat of top players. And yes, you should, when you've got the kind of assets or the kind of ammunition we've got in this draft, you should look at all machinations.
That red meat, man. Y'all stay away from all of that red meat, man. You know. Yeah, y'all stay away. Don't eat too much of that red meat. We don't have that Jerry Jones blood, right? That you can still walk around, move around with enthusiasm and energy at the age of 83, 84-ish. You know what I mean? So, Jerry, shout out to him. And shout out to all of the red meat. All right? Jerry Jones on Pickens contract talk. And we can get there. We can talk about this.
Can you give us an update on Pickens and
negotiations there? Are there any? Do you expect him at all in OTAs?
Damn, Jerry, you're breathing hard.
I don't have a thought about expecting him or not. Don't know that one way or the other. I know he's working out, throwing with our quarterback, and so all of that's going good. I don't have anything out of the ordinary to comment about regarding him franchise tag.
Has there been any negotiations at all, or
The
franchise tag?
I think you would refer to contact with agent, and we haven't.
Now, that is the conversation where we can stop it right here. It is April the 1st, and Jerry Jones said he haven't contacted the agent yet or been in communications. Now, these could be formalities. These could be principles of art of negotiation. Now, depending on what most people in theory are saying, that basically, technically, that this could be a sign, a telltale sign that GP will not get a deal done, and they'll just play him on the franchise tag. Now, there's cons and pros to both sides of it, and I'm going to say it another time, right? That if you got a player that can play on the franchise tag, whereas you can obtain and hold rights to that player by letter of the law with everything, I think that the Cowboys have at least 2 seasons in total control of GP. The problem is that when you have a player that's playing under that contract as it relates to franchise tag, the main problem would be is that it hurts you more than anything. Although you obtain the rights for said player, you can't prorate that salary, you can't stretch it, you can't pull it around. It is a hard cap hit. And some people will say, well, 28 is not that much money, or 29, wherever it may be. It is still a hard cap hit. That's the equivalency of at least 3 players that you can have as a starter. All right, so now that we got that out the way. Now, as far as the player, $28 to $29 million up front, GP never touched that much money within 1 year, right? So this is a benefit for him. But what he's risking, if he fool around and hit that synovial fluid out of his knee, then we would never know what he will look like going into the open market for next season, right? So as his agent, they must explain to him, like, these are the cons and these are the pros, right? And at the end of the day, we're going to give you the brotherly love before the pros. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to show you, like, bro, this is what you need to do. Because at the end of the day, the NFL stands for not for long, right? So we hear all of that. But as a diehard Cowboy fan and everybody that's watching right now, we don't care. We just want to win. We don't care about the contract stuff. We just want to dominate the opposition, and we want to be able to help these things out as it relates to the Cowboys winning games. This is stagnant stuff right here. So, Jerry, if you can do us a huge favor, I'm with the belief if you can't get the deal done before we go into training camp, shop it away. Shop it away. We need to stop holding on to things until they become grapes and grapes become raisins, right? We hold on and it's sour at that. We need to stop that. Because what this does, it creates animosity, it creates turmoil, it creates doubt, it creates no unity in this particular team, distrust. Now the agent's going to be like, hey, let me put the no trade clause on my contract, all of that crazy stuff, right? And by theory, David Mulugeta never had a player to play under a franchise tag under his watch. So now we got all of those things added in together. We ain't trying to be we gonna hold on to these boys, right? No, we trying to win games with these boys. So if you can't get a deal done, my only thought would be, what can you get in return, and how can we get somebody signed so they can be in training camp, Oxnard, and beyond? That's how I look at it, and maybe you add those pieces on defense. So if you can't get it done, Jerry, Create an internal deadline instead of the organic deadline. Pickens is going from $3.6 million to 27.3 million. I wish I can get a raise like that. That's from Kenyatta. Yeah, yeah. And we all wish we can get a raise like that.
He has a reputation.
Most people look at this and say, "Hey, come on, Jerry." Yeah. So here it is, right here. Let's go all the way down, and we'll pick upon what the 105 said about Jerry Jones and his future with George Pickens and these sorts of things. Happy birthday to Jim Jeffcoat, too, by the way. Yeah.
Jerry Jones talking at the league meetings, quote, "Make no mistake about it, we have long-term plans for Pickens. There have been no conversations." It's a shame because there's an opportunity here. If you could get a long-term deal done with Pickens, that represents all the money you need to get out of the cap. Bring this cap number down, do a long-term deal, then take that cap money out into the trade market, make some things happen. But I guess the good news is Jerry Jones saying we have long-term plans for Pickens, and that's what I want to hear. I mean, worst case.
Hey, and I can probably do a quick Google search and say Jerry said that he have long-term plans with Michael Parsons, right? And that's his guy, that's his war and the daddy and all of this stuff. And I get all of that. Talk is silver, silence is gold. Everyone has a reason, but results are what matter. Results. This is what we're looking for, results, man. It's been 30 years, 30 seasons, and I don't want you guys to think that I'm beating up the Cowboys, but keep in mind, I was a fan of this team before Jerry Jones bought the team. So we're going to always love this team, right? Regardless of what they move furniture around in the house and all of this stuff. It's still our house, right? Come on, John. Ain't this our house? Come on, baby. Thomas Garrett, I know you've been following the Cowboys. You've been telling me, Thomas, that you was following when they went in the 70s, right? I don't think you were following in the 60s, but you right there in the 70s. You got a chance to see all 5 of them Super Bowls, right? So that's what I'm trying to say, is that we hold the rights for this team. 4 years ago, we are the true diehard Cowboy fans, Yes, indeed. So let's listen to the rest of this.
Case scenario, you could just have George on a 1-year tag and then they'd find something else to do.
Well, then get it done. If you says, hey, we got long-term plans, well, is your deal so bad that he's going to say, well, that's not long-term for me. That's not good enough.
They don't want to do it like that.
Don't tell me. No. Don't tell me. I'd rather hear him say, we've had no conversations with George. We tagged him. We're probably going to see George in training camp.
They don't want to work on deals. They just want to be like, well, there's a deadline out there.
I'll close, Thomas. I'll close, baby. You've been a fan since 1977. Hey, for all of y'all in the chat, man, put down how long you've been a fan of the Dallas Cowboys. I need to know, man. I'm seeing who I'm talking to. My demographics over here. Baby, come on with
it. Months from now. And if you want to call and accept the offer that we've made, go right ahead. But they don't want to stay on it day after day and press for a deal, either as a negotiating tactic or a preference to do other stuff with their time. I don't know why, but they won't. They won't call on this for the rest of the offseason. The deadline's July 15th, and I believe they've told Mulugeta what they're willing to do.
Either that or Mulugeta is just so ridiculous. I mean, and Jerry's probably...
I don't know. You guys, you made a great point. Are we renters or our name on the mortgage? It's kind of like Texas, man. You technically never own the property because of property taxes, and I know that they'll waive it for certain situations, but there's a loop around where Texas can still get your property even though you beyond the age, or even if you're a veteran, you service connected, you still got to pay somebody some taxes. If you don't pay your taxes, you still don't own it all the way out. I think that in theory, and this is just me having a side conversation with my best friends, right? You guys and everyone that's watching. We never renting. We in theory, we never rent the Cowboys. The fickle fans do, like those fickle fans and those what do you call it, bandwagon fans. They'll rent the Cowboys for 2 to 3 years, depending on who's on the team. But man, the deed for the Cowboys, for us, it's in our blood, right? It's like it's Cowboys do or die, right? I'm not going to be looking at another team saying, man, I wish I was over there. No, I'm just saying, like, if there's a homer for the Cowboys, it's me, right? So if there's – and I'm not afraid of saying that I'm standing boldly with my team, right? I can look like a fool all the time, right? Even on April Fools, right? I would rather look like a fool than a brilliant genius of a Patriots fan or Eagle fan or a brilliant genius of an Atlanta Falcons fan. I would be that fool for the Cowboys. But our deed with this team is in blood, right? If you extract all of the blood out of us, boy, we like, what's that guy who can't die, Deadpool? We Deadpool with this, right? We can regenerate ourselves with a single cell. As they all say, we don't die. We what? Y'all put it in the chat. We multiply, right? So I mean it now. When it's time for me to see the Creator, and on my tombstone, if y'all don't put that star or put down that this dude right here, he didn't like the Cowboys, he loved them, man, I'm coming out and I'm hunting everybody. The ghosts of Law Nation. Yeah. Say my name like Candyman. I'm coming, baby. Law Nation. I'm coming, man. I'm coming like Candyman over here. Y'all better watch out. Peekaboo ain't got nothing on me. Come on, baby. Yes, it's in our DNA, boy. We bleed through this, man. We true to this. Come on, man. Come on.
Probably not going to say that. He might. I'd love for Jerry to say, well, you know what? It's funny. We're trying to do this deal, and Mulligeta just asked for $45 million.
Shoot.
That would be cool.
If that's the case, then he doesn't want to negotiate, but don't encourage me. Don't tell me that you got long-term plans. Mulligeta might be asking. He might be looking at. He might take the Todd France card out and say, let's ask for 60, see what happens.
Well, ain't no way, brother. Shout out to you, my guy. Shoot, Mulligeta, shoot. Just because you ask for it don't mean you're going to get it. Every day I wake up, I say, God, where my billions, Hey, I want to be the owner of the team. Now, he may be working, but it's going to be on his time. So we're going to have to tell David Mulligeta, man, if he's asking for anywhere north of 43 or 44, 45, 50, 55, 60, then, hey, tell him we'll give him that when we absolutely see the tapes again from the man on the moon, right? Yeah. And shoot, I want that phone that Nixon was on. Yeah, shoot. Anytime you can have a phone before the invention of cellular phones to reach the moon, I want that damn phone. That's the phone I want. Yeah. Give me that phone, and I'll give you that $55 to $60 million, David Mulligeta. Yeah, if you can give me the phone that Nixon used for the moon landing, and it was only like a tenth of a second delay. I got people that call into this show that be right down the street in Waco, and they can barely hear me. So, yes, anything is possible. Yes, indeed.
The thing is, he can do that with any team in the league right now, though, right? Like, that's part of the tag. So it's like, hey, if you want to do that, go ahead. Go ask the Colts, or go ask New England, or go ask whatever team it is that wants a wide receiver right now. Try and get that. Because they can go ahead and sign George to a deal, and then the Cowboys can say, well, we'll match that or not.
Now, that's what we really need to do. Like, David Pickens, we need to corner him and say, what do you want? So we can start negotiating there. By you not even picking up the phone, Jerry, and David Mulligeta with his ego too, we don't know what you want. I know negotiations start ending and get slippery when the first person start talking, but at this point, I don't give a dog. I need to know what do you want? And that works sometimes, but don't talk that aggressive to the ladies now. You try to go out to eat somewhere and shoot, you try to make a decision. She said that she trying to make a decision, and you ask, what do you want? Now nobody eating because she finna get an attitude with you, you're right? But at the end of the day, you got to be cognitive and cerebral enough, so even when you going out to eat and she don't say anything and she says nothing, boy, you better come home with something. Right? You better come home with something. Don't come home with no food now, right? So this is what we're at right now. What do you want, GP? What do you want, David Mulligetta? And what are you willing to give, Jerry, Steven, and anybody else, Willie and them? What are you willing to give? And what do you want? But you cannot get to that point osmosisly speaking, if that even a word, right? A lawism, right? So what do you want? That's what we need to. Kenyatta laughing. Don't laugh too hard now. Your lady might be watching. Here's indeed. Y'all know how it goes. Yeah, I'm smart. I'm a veteran in the game. I made sure I bring something back, Yes, indeed. I went to Whataburger this early today. I made sure I brought something back. Yeah. Shout out to Whataburger. Run me that check, Whataburger. Run me that check. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So, did Jerry Jones absolutely try to bust the budget? Maybe we can talk about Jamad McCoy just to a degree. Let's talk about Jamad and them. Hold on.
McCoy, he ran 140, 439 is what they had with him. My guy told me he was really good in drills. Said he was more fluid than explosive. Really good in the hips, though, with this guy. I asked him, I said, confident in that knee, drive off? He says, yeah, no issues, moving at all. Impressive vertical and broad jumps as well. So you see the strength and the power there.
Oh, Kenyatta says, hold on. I'm married. I know the game. Come on, man. I got you. I got your back, Kenyatta. I got you, man. So you know the rules. Oh, Verde, she says, please Pickens, don't say trade me. Ooh. That's ooh, y'all can't see it. She on the Facebook side. Verdi is spitting the truth. Because yeah, these one scab suckers that you can't sit back and say, well, trade me. Because Jerry would grant that damn wish. I believe him now. Yeah. You want to get traded from me? Yeah. Technically, what we want a Cowboy player to say, man, my body is punished for hard living. Hands on the straps of praying, so Father, please forgive me. Police be rushing, looking. When they see me, I flaunted, I'm America's most wanted. That's what we want these players to say, that it is, I want to be a Cowboy for life, right? We want to work this out for life. Move together. This is where I want to be for life, right? We don't want to get to that point where we get into our feelings and say, trade me. Because I want a player to say, man, come hell and high waters, I want to be here, man. I just want to be able to say, at the end of the day, even when the odds against me, and everybody's saying that it will not work for me.
Spartans, prepare for glory.
He says, glory. I want to prepare for glory, right? I'm that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. Yes, indeed. Let's listen to the rest of this. Y'all okay? Y'all love the flow of the show today? Do me a huge Shaq Feet favor. Hit that like button, share this content. I know normally I don't go live around this time, but if you guys can hit that like button, share this content.
I said, any reason why you wouldn't draft him? He said, no reason for me. He looked really good to go. So, all right, that's what he said. People have already asked me on Twitter that they're like,
back to play?
Well, if they asked me, do you really want him gone? And if I find out, Dallas, and 3 weeks ago, I had some people in the organization say, hey, we're not into the hurt guy. We're not into the red shirting guys and stuff like that. Facts. We're not into that anymore. I said, will that include McCoy? And he goes, that includes McCoy. So we'll see. They did have people there. Dallas had folks that were part of the workout. So we'll see how that.
I could see even he's hurt guy because he's not running, and you're thinking he's one of these guys hiding. But today changes that. He was hurt guy in 2025. Tennessee's the fan base left with sorrows and questions about what could have been. This is a clean slate for this dude.
No doubt, man. Jamar McCoy is my cornerback one still. D'Angelo, boy, today, I need to check out what he did. But, yeah. And I think that it's rules to it, Kenyatta. With me and Kenyatta having a conversation, right? It's always, look, when it's that time, it's always cool and it's okay for her to tell you, no, not tonight, right? But it's never cool and okay for us to say, no, not tonight. Boy, you talking about being in the doghouse? Boy, so it's always different sets of rules. Regardless of it, I don't make the rules. It's just for what it is. And I hope that was grown enough for me to say that, to go over the young kid's head, that these are things that we just got to understand. Somebody can say no, and it shouldn't be no problems with it. You just pack it up, go somewhere else, right? But if you say no, there's problems, there's issues, there's repercussions with it. And, y'all don't forget to hype me up, but that's just how it goes, unfortunately. So Jerry Jones, in his whole picture, just get this done. Let's get it right. Let's talk about busting of the budget over here. Did Jerry Jones really bust the budget?
Jerry got the mic, and he was asked by the media, did you bust the budget this offseason?
We've been aggressive. We have, relatively speaking, we've stepped up the financial.
Hold on. My guy, common sense. I'm just speaking common sense.
Damn!
Oh, my gosh. Is Luis, is D'Angelo Pounds, and I'm gonna get to the subject matter of it. Is D'Angelo, to me, and I want to ask you guys, is D'Angelo a slight shorter, more athletic Jordan Lewis, or Brent Grimes? If you guys can remember Brent Grimes, right? Is he more of that, right? And then we had talked about this budget of busting from Jerry. Explosions of budgets. Hold on. Y'all put that down, and we're going to play that clip over as far as busting of the budget from Jerry. Come on.
Jerry got the mic, and he was asked by the media, did you bust the budget this offseason?
We've been aggressive. We have, relatively speaking, we've stepped up the financial requirements for what we have done. We may have exceeded, busted, whatever you want to call it, but we got some more, and so we're not through.
We got some more, and we're not through. So
It's accurate.
Yeah, they're not through. They're not technically accurate.
No, I mean he didn't say we absolutely busted the budget. Like, he's accurate. He's like, we exceeded what we normally have done.
And he would come on here and he would come on here in an interview and say, yeah, we busted the budget.
He'd probably with us say it a little more like, hell yeah, we busted the budget. In fact, I'd say we spent more money than any team in the last decade has spent.
No doubt. Now, by this segment being all about Jerry, right? Let me ask y'all that. Let me see if I can move this over here. While they talking about this, remind me to get to this point. I got to get to this point. I'm gonna let them play this all the way through.
Is what he would tell us, but
here,
it's yeah, exactly. He would find a technicality, but that's his thing. He's the salesman, but he said it. They spent more than they normally do. That's basically what they did.
Gary got the mic.
All right, good. All right. Did Jerry actually try to bust the budget? Shout out to them for this topic matter. Jerry said in his piece that he's been aggressive. so that we can be on the same page and singing from the same hymnal. Is the Cowboys owner / general manager saying that we been aggressive? Is the terminology saying that we been aggressive? Do you guys think that that's subjective? Because aggressive can be 2 or 3 ways explained. Like, aggressive according to what standard, right? This is aggressive according to what the Rams did, right? Because this is just like Nats at the fish fry over here with the Rams. Because aggressively speaking, during the offseason, they went and got the best DB that was available, right? They went and got the best DB that was available, right? So by them going and get the McDuffie, right, we call it being aggressive by getting their cast-offs, if I'm being correct. They went and got McDuffie, and they said, well, we no longer need a Kobe Durant. We no longer need a Deion Kendrick because we got a creme de la creme. So being aggressive is something that we can say, that's subjective, though. According to who? Are you talking about according to what we did recently, last season? Or are you talking about according to what you think that is aggressive? Because we got cast-offs, right? And I'm not beating up the pieces that we have because these pieces are better than what we had last season, right? And now if I'm on the back end of the roster, I'm thinking like, man, I got no sponsors in the building. I need to be aggressive out here in training camp if I want to keep my job. But it is for what it is. I'm not beating up Jerry, but I'm just saying the obvious, like you being aggressive according to who, what, when, where, and comparable to what of how you being aggressive. So that's just how I'm looking at it. All right, so let's listen to this part right here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, Mike Garafolo, who, I don't feel like he has a reputation to just go ahead and try to create headlines and stir stuff up. Garafolo went on his Twitter account, NFL Network, and said, I asked Jerry if Pickens has said he wants negotiations to go through agent David Mulugheta. Jones said he's talked to agents over the years and has no issue doing that, but, quote, if he worked without an agent, he'd save a lot of money. After a pause, Jerry added, with me. Mike Florio, understandably to me, Florio writes, Jerry Jones tries to get George Pickens to ditch his agent. And last night, I'm reacting to this myself, and I'm like, God, here we go again. Here we go again. I even had the thought in my mind, it's time to avoid Mulugheta clients, because David Mulugheta is going to own Jerry and Steven yet again.
I don't know, because before he finished his point, collectively speaking, did Todd France own Jerry in these negotiations, collectively speaking? Let me know if I'm wrong. Todd France took Jerry and them to the woodshed and then put on the contract, no trade clause. And I'm talking about Randy Dakota Prescott, Todd France, right? Like, if we really look at everything, Todd France won that contract. Technically, he got one of the better contracts in the league. And let me switch over to another guy that a lot of people saying that George Pickens need to do the T. Higgins. He need to switch over and switch agency. Well, for those who didn't do their research, let me pull it back on me. Let me give you guys the big picture. Rocky Arsenal then took Jerry Jones and his son to the woodshed and got a pole twice the size it need to be with no lubrications and said, hey, I'm going to shoot it right to you in Cabo. When you said, Zeke, who? That contract, I think it was north of 90 million, close to $100, right? And people were not paying any running back that because of the Todd Gurley thing, right? So if Todd France took Jerry to the woodshed, and if Rocky Arsenal took Jerry to the woodshed, this young phenom, as it relates to being able to dial up contracts and beyond, David Mulugeta, he's just going to do what all of the agents been doing. So what people tend to do, since the newest name of it all is David Mulugeta, because he's a fresh name, right? And he's aggressive on his clients because he's really getting multitudes of clients. He's not going anywhere. But what I can tell you for sure, that the negotiation strategies is always there. So I don't think that we won or we will win any type of contract as it relates to these archaic ways of negotiating now. Well, unfortunately, right? The best contracts that I do like the Malik Hooker contract, incentive-laden contract. I like that. That contract a couple years ago with Tyron Smith, when they renegotiated his contract, incentive-based contract. Ooh, I love those, right? Put more incentives on that. That's the only way I see the Cowboys winning on the contract side. Now, Osa contract, it was neither here nor there. It didn't hurt the Cowboys as much. But a lot of people were saying, hey, even with that they could have saved that and went and took that money elsewhere. But that's a whole nother conversation, you know. So, David Moolah, Getter, yeah. So, it's whenever it's a contract in these long situations, it hurts the team because our fan base been such a toxic version of a fan base, because you got so many people that throw their thoughts and their opinions out there. And I'm not talking about you guys that's watching. But we got a very toxic fan base because we've been deprived for 30 years and 30 seasons, and now everybody got the need to be right. There's a segment of people that believe Jerry do no wrong. Then there's a segment of people that Jerry do everything wrong, right? Which is kind of like crazy, because Jerry is technically a real good business owner. Like, if I were a team, I would want him to be my owner. It's the GM that's in the way, right? It's the GM, Jerry, that's in the way. And that's just for what it is, unfortunately. And Jerry, man, don't come after me, man. I love you, man. Come on, Jerry, you my guy. Come on, man. Don't come after me now. But I'm just saying, I'm speaking the truth of this matter.
He's going to try to cut David out. You're going to get punished in terms of the salary. And then Bobby settled me down this morning.
Yesterday, I talked to a couple different people on the beat. I was like, all right, is this Jerry doing again? Like, I don't even know the guy's name. Like, because that was very flippant last year when he did that. That was, don't even know him. I couldn't tell you. There was no joking there. This apparently was all a joke. This was like
multiple
said it.
People told you.
Multiple people
who
told
were
me,
there.
Multiple people who were there told me he was joking, and like so obviously joking, like one of those things where he does the little wink and then he laughs and then he walks off. Like, all right, guys, it was good seeing you. Like, it was the closer type of line. Like, see you later.
And this is why
that's why in certain positions you shouldn't have people joking. You know, the leader of this free country and world, you should have somebody to be stern and get things going, you know. And I'm talking about the president of the United States. You know, you want them people to be serious. You know, you don't want jokes. The same as with your owner. You want them to be stern. You want them to take your word. Now, I get it. That could be a way that he utilized his way of living, and that's the Jerry way. But at some point, there's a time, like Ecclesiastes says, there's a time for killing. It's a time for love. It's a time for peace. It's a time for war. It's a time to joke, and it's not a time to joke, right?
Look at my African American over here.
You get what I'm saying? It's a time for all of that, you know. So, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, but by us coming out of what appears to be a terrible negotiation deal last season, we don't want to go through this again, man. You know. Shoot, we don't want to go through this.
Reporters get this business gets such a terrible name. Like, this is irresponsible on the part of Mike Garafolo, because then Florio writes about it, and what did you just see on television? And we would be on here talking about it unless, Bobby, if he didn't speak with 3 beat reporters that were there. Mm-hmm. It's an irresponsible journalistic job by Mike.
And then we see up there on First Take, we see Russo. Go with you can't do that with the agent. You can't just cut him out.
Mike.
But it is what it is. How y'all feel about that? Hmm? And before we go into this, I want to give flowers out to DLLS, one of our partners here on Law Nation Sports. I think that Clarence Hill did a great job of sitting down with Troy Aikman. Got off the phone with him earlier today, and he was saying that basically Pat McAfee and a few other guys, they was there. And Troy was like, man, I'm finna go talk to my homie, man. I'm finna go.
Oh, look at my African American over here.
I'm finna go talk to my guy over here, man. And that was Clarence Hill. So we're going to play some of this audio here and give the thought track of this and seeing how all of this can work out. And I'm going to say this to the grave, like, out of all of the quarterbacks, Troy Aikman is my QB1. Now, I didn't get a chance to see the youthful, running around, original Mr. 12, right? Captain Comeback, Mr. America. I haven't seen the likes of Roger Staubach, right? But my QB1 will always be Troy because of his leadership, not necessarily of his skill sets and beyond that. But Troy, he's the final piece. Got a chance to talk to Emmett. I got a chance to talk to Michael Irvin. I talked to Big Nate Newton. Talked to Ken Norton. I talked to Charles Haley and them, right? Kenny the Shark, all of those boys. I talked to Jay Novacek, right? But, boy, I normally don't get fanned out. But, man, Troy's the last centerpiece. Like I can't wait to one day talk to Troy, right? And he's the one that I would love to have a conversation with beyond just football and the pigskin type of stuff. Yeah. Roger Staubach was no joke, Law. Yeah, Kenyatta, I believe every word you said. Put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear the 3-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Famer, Troy Aikman. Y'all let me know. Put a 1 in the chat already. Yeah, if y'all can hear that.
I'd be willing to be a part of, their general manager search. That they had reached out to some people, and my name had come up quite a few times, and so I'd been asked over the years.
Oh, by the way, I did get a chance to see a lot of Danny White, though. Shout out to Daddy boy. Yes, indeed. Even when he was kicking the ball. Shout out to Daddy.
Head coaching candidates, but I'd never been asked about general manager candidates, and so I wasn't exactly sure what they might be looking for, and I wanted to make sure that I could give them what it is that they wanted, and after giving it a little bit of thought, got back in contact and said, yeah, I think I can help, and I really enjoyed it, and so through that, they I guess appreciated the work that I was able to do, and then asked me to stay on to help with the head coaching search, and now I'll continue to help in ways that are yet to be defined.
How do you balance that with, I guess, did Tom set the precedent?
No, not really. You know what? I think that, and I've said this before, I think all franchise quarterbacks that have been in the league for any length of time, I think we all come out of the game thinking that we could run a team and know what it takes, and certainly haven't been a part of some championship teams, and I know what a locker room feels like and what a winning locker room should be like. And so I really thought I would go in that direction when I was getting out of football, but because of things in my personal life, it kept me from really being able to devote time in that way. But in the back of my mind, I kind of hoped it had come along, and then I was so far removed at this particular time, I didn't think it would ever happen. But so it's kind of.
Is it kind of like noisy in the background, or that's just my audio? Or maybe I can hear other people talking. Yeah, but let's listen to what Troy had to say.
Scratch that itch, but. I don't have any ownership. I don't have the influence, if you will, that Tom seemingly has there with the Raiders. So it's a little, it looks similar, but I'm not so sure that it is.
You know, we've talked over the years, and I'm glad you talked about scratching this, because we've talked many times about you really wanting to step into GM space.
Yeah.
You know, and so at your age, dreams still come true, or is that what this is?
Well, I think there were talks probably 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's on their end. I can clear it up too. I got some systems that I can clear this up. But we gonna wrestle through it. We're gonna wrestle through it, okay? So let's go, Cowboy Nation. Let's wrestle through this noise. But this is my first time. I got virgin ears to it. I heard about it, so let's slowly get this going. And shout out to everyone that's watching and tuning in. And shout out to DLLS Media. Let me share this link too with you guys so that we can be compliant. Boom, here we go. And be sure to give them a like, a follow, and as well as comment on that video.
About me possibly getting in the role of the general manager, and I understand there's a learning curve, and I'm not one of those who just thinks, oh, okay, I'll just go right from the broadcast booth and be a general manager. Right? There's things you've got to know, but I do feel that I think that for the Dolphins, I think they capitalize on what I feel my strengths are, and that is being able to identify the right people for those positions. And so because that's what I was doing for them in this process, it kind of made it very easy for me. I won't be a general manager in the NFL, but with that said, I'll always wonder what kind of general manager I would have been, and I believe I would have been a good one, but everyone thinks it would have been good at something that they never tried. So it's easy.
Any conflict of not being able to do it in Dallas?
No.
You knew that wasn't part of the.
Yeah,
even as a consultant.
Well, McClay doesn't get to do it in Dallas, and he's been there a long time. So
you gotta love the honesty there, man. Like Troy's like, nah. Like you can tell, like when somebody goes, nah, you can tell they really want it, but he like, nah, because of the nature of the Cowboys, right? And for those who don't know, Troy ain't no B-I-T, and then you can put the rest. You spell the rest of it. Troy call out everything. Jerry, see, here's the thing. Jerry knows what it takes to win. He know what it needs in order to win. He knows it. You don't win 3 of them with not knowing what you need to do. The problem is that getting the credit for it. That's the problem. That's the finite issue is how I can obtain the credit. People who have billions of dollars, they don't really need to work. But when you get to a certain level, what's more than just creating those dollars is power. Is being able to step out and walk out and say, these are the things I have done, right? Instead of saying that these are the things that we have done. That's where we are at. We are fighting egos versus anything, or versus everything. Nebuchadnezzar, he walked out amongst his providence of what he owned. The city, people were bowing down to him. And he walked out and said, look at this. These are the things I have done. These are my subjects. I got all of the power, right? And then someone had to show him who is really in control and who really got power. And that someone was the grand creator. So we are in that same realm. Like we can talk back and forth about, hey, well, Jerry, listen to a lot of folks. Well, you can't have too many people in your ear. Because at some point, it got to be your decision, and you got to make a firm move on it. But if you always going this way like this and like that, You like that fish I saw when I was watching cartoons with my daughters. I think it was Dora the Explorer or something like that. They're looking for the fish with the half of a fin. I forgot. Nemo. Yeah, Nemo. Dory. Yeah, Dory. She forget what she's doing and get misguided every now and then. And that's where we've been. 4-3, 3-4. Do we get Jason Garrett? We keep him. Not for 5 years, 13 years, 13 seasons, right? You look for guys that you can walk on and step over, right? But the guys that can get you to lift up that Lombardi trophy or someone to tell you that, hey, this is not working, you don't want them. And that's what it takes to win a championship. It's someone to tell you, no. Not people that's going to always tell you yes. And unfortunately, that's where we've been. That goes all the way back to what I said earlier. It's okay for her to tell you no. But when it's inverse, you better not tell her no. Oops, I talked too loud.
You know, I think probably, I don't know. I think the Dolphins were wise in understanding my relationships around the league and knowing that I have information that they don't have.
Ooh.
Or can't get.
Ooh.
And I think they were smart in taking advantage of that, whether it was through me or through somebody else. The Cowboys have never elected to do that, at least with me. Right. You know, maybe they have with others, but no, I don't feel there's a conflict. But I will say I'm pulling for the Dolphins, and I know that because now I have something at stake, and I think they hired two really talented, wonderful people, and I think that's going to prove itself out. Now, 26 is going to be a tough season because of the cap that took a big hit when they let Tua go, but. Yeah. Time will tell, but yeah, I'm pulling for him. I want to see him do well because I feel like my fingerprints are on it as well.
Well,
yeah, when you got your fingerprints on it, you're gonna make sure it's good, right? So this is Troy Aikman right here. You know what I'm saying?
Hey guys, that's a embarrassment out there. That's a damn embarrassment.
Yeah.
We can't block anybody up the now we're hugging the ball early. Junior league.
Troy.
Somebody's got to get their attention, and I'll tell you,
What you say, Troy?
Tired of being a guy who's got to run down everybody's damn throat all the time. Why don't we have a coach that gets over there and does something about it? Instead, we want to go over and pat everybody on the ass, and they haven't done a job all night. Guys out there off, and nobody says anything about it. We got a head coach who won't say anything about it. We got coaches offensively who won't do anything about it.
Troy.
I mean, enough's enough. Babysitting's over.
We ain't had it in 30 years. That boy was trying to tell Troy. He was saying, get out of the way, Jerry. Oh, get out of the way, girl. All right, where we at? We were right here. He was trying to tell Troy. we haven't had that on the sideline. Boy, don't you know? Now, Dak, I need for you to be like that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Dak. We need to have somebody telling Dak. Come on, man. Chill out, man. Yes, indeed. Romo was getting there, but his back got out. You know what I'm saying? He got out of him, because it's rough, man. He said, patting everybody on the ass. We got a head coach that don't like to do X, Y, and Z. Troy had to will that team into winning that last Super Bowl, right? In 95 and 96 season, he had to will that team. He literally had to will that team, and they had to pull resources because people fail to realize the word re is what we got from replenishing. The source, we already know the source was Jimmy. So they had to reach in and pull the resources from what they were taught. They were doing philosophy, so you had to coach the coaches over there. Yes, indeed. But that guy was like, Troy, please. Kenyatta says Dez was like that. Yeah, that's my guy Dez. I ain't gonna say anything what he was like or not like. But it was coming from, I'm gonna get off of that one. We had that conversation later.
The Cowboys didn't lie about that. You gonna trade Jordan Brooks to the Cowboys?
I like Jordan Brooks.
His contract.
I'm kind of stripping it down. I'm remodeling a house in California, so I know all about stripping it down to the studs. And that's what they're doing in Miami. But Jordan Brooks, whether it's Dallas or if he stays in Miami or goes elsewhere, he's going to make some team better.
Has Jimmy embraced you still down in South Florida? I mean, you're following him in Miami footsteps.
Yeah, I'll be in Miami for the draft. I'll be in their facility for the draft, and then I'm planning on getting down to the Keys afterwards and spending about 36 hours with Jimmy.
And I know you still keep
I got the
Cowboys.
keys.
How have you seen their moves of greatness? Do you think they have made enough and CP enough?
I don't know if you ever think you've done enough, but we'll see. You look at teams over the years, and some teams do a lot and they play really well. Some teams do a lot, they don't have good years, and then the same holds true when they haven't done as much. It goes both.
You know what? It just hit me. Jordan Brooks will be on the Cowboys. It just hit me, man. Yeah, we got a super chat, man, from Cuddy. Let the AI speak.
At G Cuddy $7,991.9.99. Law, you know damn well Doc can't do that as a brother on the sidelines.
I know, but shoot. He could probably get away with it. Drewski can whiteface. Come on, man. he's half black. I'm messing with you. But yeah, they
look at my African American over here.
I don't know what boisterous melanated quarterback there's been, and I'm not using this as a white versus black, but I'm just saying the angry black man is similar to the angry black woman. You get a woman that's mad, and they say, "Oh, look at that black woman. She's an angry black woman, right? Oh man, blah blah blah." But I don't know a quarterback. Pat Mahomes do yell, but to be fair to Patrick Mahomes, when he's yelling, that's like Kermit the Frog, right? That damn Pat Mahomes don't have a lot of bass in his voice, even though he's a 3-time champ. Or how many rings Pat got? He got 3 of them, right? You're right. It's just certain people that can't do it because then they'll paint you into a corner and they say, yeah, here you go. You can't do that. Settle down a little bit. I don't know anybody. I'm trying to think of anybody that I know. But back to the conversation at hand, and I really appreciate you, G. Cuddy. And I know where you're coming from when you say that. All the way from Detroit, I believe, right? You're in Detroit area. Here's what I want to say with Troy, though. He got influences. There should be Jordan Brooks traded to the Cowboys. Sanchez said Donovan McNabb a little bit. McNabb was cheeks, pure cheeks, throwing up in a huddle and stuff. McNabb had a stretch with Andy Reid, and we know why that stretch was really good. But then when he went over to the Washington stuff, McNabb fell off badly, right? And you can walk by McNabb now, and you wouldn't even know that he was ever a quarterback, But I just never looked at McNabb as a boisterous guy that everybody respected and he can yell at folks. I just never looked at it. If you look at Hurts, he's not that guy. Geno is not that guy. Skinny leg quarterback Jaden Daniels, he's still wet behind the ears. They already dogging CJ. CJ ain't that guy. I don't know any quarterback that can do that. Now, Peyton Manning used to go off on everybody, even the center. So I don't know. Let's listen to this.
Both ways. So there's no real true blueprint as to how you get it going. But as I've said before, and the Cowboys understand this, it's not anything news. But for them to be as prolific as they were offensively, more importantly for Dak to be as healthy as he was and have the year that he had, to not be able to capitalize on that, I'm sure there's a lot of heartburn within that facility that happened last year.
Still hardball with former players. It's 30 years now since the last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, goodness gracious.
Well, it's wild. You know, the one thing about it is they've been competitive and they've won a lot of games in the regular season overall. It just hasn't translated to much success in the playoffs. And this is the Cowboys. I mean, it's not some other teams around the league. And so for the Cowboys, it's not about winning regular season games. It is about winning championships. And it's hard to believe that. I think the longest drought had been probably the drought that occurred between when Danny White played and then when we got to the championship game there in '92, and that was, I believe, I'm not totally accurate, but I think around 14 years or so, and then here we are going on 31 years. So it's been a disappointment for sure.
Should we let go of the Cowboys? They should be better because of the Cowboys. That Cowboy standard of excellence and championships and.
No, I hope not. I think because my teams and our players and coaches that were a part of the '90s, Roger and his group started it, winning Super Bowls and championships, and he kind of set the ball.
To be fair, Doomsday and then '90s defense, he just didn't get the love affair with the '90s defense there, but they were finished top two, in the league. Not DVOA and all of that other stuff that they try to throw in. They were number one. They led the league in pressures and sacks and just taking the ball away. They were fundamentally sound. They didn't have a lot of penalties. So that's the differences between the two. Yeah, and let me see if I can, for references, I got to pull this up for that reference piece. Here we go, right here. This is Peyton Manning. Hold on.
Hey, quit calling the plays, all right?
Hey, we got to run the ball. Six down
when
there.
we pass, block. We'll run the ball.
Can we run it down there?
Just play
We
center.
run it down
Yeah,
there.
Jeff,
Okay, so
we will. All right, when we call pass plays, block. He's calling plays.
Go sit down.
He's calling plays. I will sit down. Don't quit yelling.
Hey, go sit down.
No, we're cool, but y'all quit yelling.
Over here telling us how.
He's doing it.
Come on, okay.
He's yelling.
Man, I love that, man. Look, man. That damn Peyton Manning, boy, he ready to fight the people that's protecting his life. You know what I'm saying? Like this right here. Shoo. Peyton Manning was like even when he had that half a neck, I was in there like, Cowboys, go get that dude. He can be in the wheelchair. They gonna figure out a way that the Illuminati, the Bohemian Groves, the Graves, and the Tartarians, the Lawlarians, and all of them, they would figure out a way that Peyton Manning got to have at least 2 Super Bowls. Ain't no way in the world Eli can have more than him. Man, that was just crazy.
No, you don't have to go yet.
No. I'm mic'd up, too.
He couldn't even. Yeah.
And then we continued with that legacy and furthered it to where that now is the standard for the Cowboys. And so I feel like that reflects well on us Cowboys of the '90s in making that the standard. And I hope that this drought doesn't continue to where all of a sudden we're lowering the bar. I hope that's not the case.
We talked last night briefly about the Hall of Fame and your disappointment of Whitney not getting in and Woodson got to get in. How do you fix this?
I don't know. I feel like the way that it went down.
Facts. D in the chat. He found someone. Caleb Williams going off in the playoff game. So that's one. That you are right. Let me pull up him because I got to give you your flowers on that. And we're not saying, and we're definitely not saying that this doesn't occur, right? But nationally speaking, we haven't heard Jameson Winston and all of these other people who Byron Leftwich or any of these other quarterbacks go at it like that. Now, I don't know if Jordan Love does that, but you are right. I love Caleb Williams in that playoff game, chewing out his people, letting them know, like, look, these guys continue to hit me. I'm telling you where to be at. Caleb Williams got potentials on the high side to be a very, very special quarterback with the coach, was it Johnson? Ben Johnson, yes. So if that was his first season, his third season overall in the league or what have you, his second season with Ben Johnson, but his third season in the league, Caleb is about to make a big jump. He's about to be a top 5 or a top 6 quarterback, if not, if he's already listed that. I think every 4 or 5 years, a big turnover on quarterbacks who's entering into the realm of top 5 and top 10. I can foresee that Caleb Williams could be one of those guys. The NFC collectively is a damn good division, damn good conferences, and it's going to be that, Yeah, but let's get it. Let's go.
This year, and of course, Bill Belichick not getting in is what drew so much attention to it. I think it forced them to take a hard look as to how they're going about doing it. And, that can't happen. You can't have who is considered by many to be the greatest coach of all time not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. It just defies logic. And so whatever the process is in voting, it has to change. It just wasn't good enough. And so that should then, in theory, help guys like Darren Woodson and Jason Witten and hopefully that.
Will that change? Will you change anything toward you're actually with the Hall of Fame at all because of this? Or
No, I'm disappointed. I am disappointed, and I think it was a huge black eye for the Hall of Fame. And I think the Hall got humbled, quite honestly. And so, hey, we can all use a little humility every now and then. So hopefully they come out better, and we all come out better for it.
Real quickly, people, when they watch you do your broadcast, say Troy just says what's on his mind. You don't care anymore. You getting, he's older. He doesn't worry about what people say or.
Well, I do.
Talk about your honesty. You've always been honest.
Yeah,
people don't know that.
Yeah, I sometimes too direct. And I'm like that in my personal life. Somebody asks me a question, I generally answer it, and I honestly don't intend for it to come off as abrasive. But sometimes it's a little more direct than people are accustomed to. So, and Clarence, the last thing I want is especially the players and the coaches that are the participants in the game. I would never want them to think that I don't respect what it is that they do, because I certainly do. But yeah, if I think something's bad, I say it. It's good, and all that. I think sometimes people take probably a little more from it than what I intend.
Well, it makes for good TV.
Well, that's the business we're in, right?
There you go, man.
Look at us right here. A couple TV stars.
There you go. Thank you, man. Aikman.
Okay, first thing.
Yeah. Shout out to my brethrens over there, man. Great piece, man. Shout out to DLLS and their media team and shooting all of that great stuff, man. It's always a pleasure being able to get things going. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much for being part of this and getting things going. It just says, David Woods states that, Law, you're my guy, but that sucker Clarence here. Oh, look, I think that, is Clarence Hill is an acquired taste, right? That's an acquired taste, like bourbon or something, something rigid like that, And me, I'm more of a smooth taste, man. I'll play with y'all. But, Clarence, it's hard for that guy to lean into anything of coming off as a fanboy. But deep down in the hearts of heart, I'm like, man, you better stop playing that role of being anti-Cowboy. We know you like the damn Cowboys, And he give me such a hard time. And all of them old heads up there, they think that like Calvin Watkins and Jean-Jacques Taylor, Clarence, to a degree, Chris Arnold. Stop it, Law. Stop it. Like God, dog, you just a Kool-Aid carrier and all of this with the players and stuff. And me, I look at it like I try to be objective as possible. if I can have subjective, objective takes. But I'm always going to be leaning towards my Cowboys, right? It's hard for me to pick my Cowboys to lose. Regardless of it, I look at it like me and Nate Newton the same way. Nate Newton, if you ever listen to Nate Newton, you listen to Big Nate. And he's not a journalist, by the way, former player, but he works at the media. He ain't going to pick the Cowboys to lose. He'll pick them to have a forever tie or them always winning. Some people, they can come off as like disingenuous. Some people can come off as he just a homer. But as a journalist, your job is to be objective. And I know it's hard to literally be that in the last 30 years, 30 seasons. So that's just for what it is. Thomas Garrett, he's a straight old head. So that's just how it is, unfortunately. They believe in their old school ways and stuff like that. Trying to get them hip. But it's a battle within a battle, right? And we would say a lot of things what we think we would say to Jerry, or we would say a lot of things what we think we would say to any of these football players. But you got to have a healthy decorum. And that's just for what it is, regardless, you know. Like, there's people that talk so reckless that they don't know they got a death sentence on themselves. You know, they're talking that reckless. You just never know what people got going on in their minds, their head, and what they know and what they can do, right? And they can smite that person just like this. But the biggest person always walk away, basically, is what I'm getting at. So with that being said, in this business, you got to have thick skin. Don't y'all know how tired I be when people say, hey, did anybody ever tell you? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Lord, here we go. You look like James Harden. Like, that get tiring after a while. Like, I had my same face since I was born. You know, I think that he looked like me because I'm way older than James Harden, right? When people come up to me and say, hey, did anybody tell you look like the dude that played on Ballers? Nah, he look like me. I'm the oldest, you know, so I would love the day that when people come up to them and say, hey, did anybody ever tell you that you look like Law Nation? You know, that would be the nice thing. Jason Witten is with the Sooners now. Yeah, he's going to come over to the Cowboys eventually, right, to be a coach. Yeah, Clarence needs to relax and have fun. He do. He have a little bit too much fun. Yeah, yes, indeed. But, you know, neither here nor there. I love y'all to the stars and back. If I offended anyone today, just charge it to my beard, not my heart. Cowboys, we got a lot of stuff that we can talk about. Happy April Fool's Day, if we can say it that way. And if you got caught up with an April Fool's joke, let me know what was the joke. I had another 30 minutes to go on the show, but we gonna kick it back open tomorrow, something like that. And if any other groundbreaking news to circulate from here, you guys would know it. Thank y'all. Yeah, Mike, James Harden took my beard, you know. Yeah. And I got the tape to prove it. But shout out to James Harden. We might be related. Shout out to John David. We might be related as well. Because we are one. We are. I didn't know that Denzel from East Texas, so shoot. We might be related. Shoot. That ain't far away from my home skillet. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around this world, Mama said that there'll be days literally just like this. And as the room depart, thank y'all for your love and adulations. There's more things to come. I don't want to outspeak my wisdom teeth. But if you are in the area on Friday, we will have some things that we're going to go over. Also, I want to help my guy. He going to do a raffle. So shout out to him. That is my guy Shells and Tails. Be sure to check out them. That information is in the chat area. They're giving a raffle, $20 ticket. Shout out to my guys. Be sure it's for a noble cause. It's a learning center for those who have autism. when we were growing up, there was no such thing as autism. Now everybody got it, right? It's like it's contagious or something. The spectrum. There was no spectrum when we were growing up. But ladies and gentlemen, if you know of anyone that's in the Dallas area or in the DFW that could need some assistance, be sure to check out that link. And shout out to my guys over there, Shells and Tails. They're having a seafood boil. But if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad, that you don't get tired and it makes you hold everything tawdry and cheap, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan to lose all terror of your mind, if you would simply, just simply go after the things you want with all of your capacity, strength, sagacity with faith, hope, confidence, and stern pertinacity, and neither cold or the poverty or the famish or fame, sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the things you want if dogged and grim and besieged and beset. With the help of Almighty Allah, you will get it. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Let's get it, Cowboy Nation and everyone that's watching. We up out. Shout out to you, G. Cuddy. Thank you for being part of this.